Before my current job, there were two other jobs that I had in my lifetime. My very first job was at a grocery store. I started off as a produce clerk. What I had to do was stock the produce and dispose of any boxes we had in the back. A simple job, or at least it would have been. My manager there had a specific way he wanted me to put some of the produce in their respective aisles. Apples and stuff like that were just to be poured onto the area. I tried this as he wanted the fruits to be stocked ASAP. But every time I did, some of the fruits would spill onto the floor. I had no idea why, they just would. Something tells me it may have had to do with my poor hand-eye coordination. Eventually, I was moved to the front of the store as a courtesy clerk. I would bag items, exchange propane tanks, and manage the carts. Carts were a little heavy for me to push, so most of the time I wouldn't be outside alone. I would usually not take more than 5 carts at a time. When I did have to take more, it would be a struggle to get up ramps with ridges. I had to leave the job as some of my college courses became demanding of my time, and I had to make the decision to leave. I wouldn't say it was a horrible job, I just wish my experience overall was better. A few years after I left my grocery store job, I worked as a ride operator at a theme park. And let me tell you, operating the rides was not a cakewalk. When a ride malfunctioned, I would sweat bullets as I was never sure if it was me or if the ride legitimately had a problem. Everyone else seemed to be having no issue at all at their rides, though I couldn't always tell. Sometimes when I needed help, my supervisors wouldn't come out to help me when I really needed them. If there was one thing I hated the most, however, it was interacting with whiny customers that acted like children. One issue I remember in particular that parents had were height restrictions. I had one dad in particular get upset because I wouldn't let his daughter onto the ride, because from what I saw, she did not meet the height requirement. "Hey, I checked my daughter's height. She can ride." "Sir, I'm looking right now. She's not tall enough to ride." "You let those other 2 little girls get on." "They got on the ride before, and I checked them then." "Let my kid ride." Needless to say, after checking again, I realized that the daughter did indeed meet the height requirements. I felt so embarrassed, and because of the temper tantrum the dad was throwing, I was afraid I was going to lose my job. Thankfully, that didn't happen. The manager understood I was only doing my job. Most of my coworkers and my supervisors were cool people, so thankfully, my theme park job wasn't too miserable. Both jobs were fairly average experiences for the most part. The grocery store was so-so, while the theme park job gave me a few crazy adventures. Would I trade these experiences for anything? No. I gained experience through these jobs and have funny tales to tell. And to the red train, you tried to make me give up sometimes, but I prevailed. I still got to live out my childhood dream of driving trains, and I am grateful to you and the blue train for making that possible.